Today, guys, I'm going to share with you how I created this tag holder. And if you're interested in seeing that, please do stay tuned. Welcome, guys. For those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Claudette with Miss Puff Creative Corner. So let's jump into today's project. So I'm going to be sharing with you how I created this tag holder. And this is nice for gift giving. So I use a punch that is no longer available through Stampin' Up. You could use one of your punches that you have. So to go keep within the same theme of the box, I create that little scallop edge there and kept the tag within that same shape. So let's jump into the stuff that you need to create this tag holder. So what we're gonna need is some cardstock. So this cardstock here, what we have is measuring 4 inches by 9.5 inches, okay? Then the designer series paper, you're gonna need 2 pieces measuring 4 1/8 by 1 15/16 of an inch. So these measurements are in inches. Then you're gonna need 4 smaller pieces of your designer series paper. And then those are measuring 1 3/4 by 7/8 of an inch. So let's go ahead and start by scoring our large piece of cardstock. So I'm going to bring out my scoring board. And we're going to start with the shorter side of our cardstock. And then we're going to be measuring, and then we're going to be scoring 1 inch on either side, okay? So let me zoom in so you could see that. So we're going to go 1 inch here on this side. And then we're going to do 3 inches on this side. All right, so that's going to give us 1 inch on either side. Okay, so that's going to give us 1 inch on either side. I'm just going to make these a little deeper so you could see. So that's 1 inch on this side and 1 inch on this. So we do it 1 inch, 3 inches, okay? So then we're going to turn it here on the longer side. And then we're going to start by scoring now. 4 1/4 of an inch. We're going to score at 4 1/4 of an inch. We're going to take the score line all the way down. 4 1/4 of an inch. Then we're going to score again at 5 1/4 of an inch. 5 1/4 of an inch. 5 1/4 of an inch. All right, so that's 4 1/4, 5 1/4. Then what we're going to go ahead and do is score at, we're going to come back over on this side. We're not going to take it all the way down. So we're going to score right here at 2 1/2. And we're going to bring that down to this score line right here, okay? I am going to bring in a ruler because I want to do 2 1/2 and up to this score line right here. All right, so what I'm going to do is bring my ruler in, place this on 2 1/2. So we're going to score 2 1/2, right? So that's 2 1/2. And we're going to take it up to that first score line right there, okay? So that's 2 1/2. So now we're going to take this down here. This is 2 1/2. We're going to bring it from this score line down, okay? And just to be easier for you guys, we're going to flip it on the other sides and we're going to do it the same thing on the other side. We're going to take it and bring it down 2 1/2. We're going to score that at 2 1/2, just to that first score line, 2 1/2. And that's in inches. And then we're going to come up here and do 2 1/2 here in inches, okay? All right, I'm going to bring in a little template here for you. Okay, and what we're going to do is where we scored to those top right there and just to the first score line, we're going to go ahead and cut this rectangle piece out, this rectangle piece out on either side. Okay, we're going to cut those out on either side. So what we're going to do is go ahead and cut those pieces out. So we did that one side. So what we're going to do is go ahead and cut the other side, these rectangle pieces out on the opposite side. Okay, so this is what we have here so far. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to cut little wedges out of here. So you're going to cut out little pieces, like small little triangular pieces there in these little middle section here. Okay, so what we're going to do is just cut on those score lines. So it's like a miter cut. So we're cutting out a little sliver like that. So it's a little triangle kind of shape. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so next what we're going to do is we're just going to give an angle cut on these sides right here. You see how this here is angled? We're going to give that an angle cut because that's going to give us that design here on the side of our box. All right. So you could just eyeball that first piece. We're just going to take this and cut it straight up that way. All right. Again, what we're going to do is I'm just going to draw a pencil line here, and you're going to cut that up just like that. Just as a reference, we're going to do that. All right, so what I'm going to do is take that and put it over on the other side so we could have the same measurement, okay? So with this, you want the angle to go on that direction. And what we could do is you could take that, you want the same piece, the same angle on off of each section, okay? All right, so what you're going to do is flip this over, all right? So your angle could be going in the same direction. Again, you could take your pencil and draw that line in. And you could erase your pencil mark. All right, so this is how it's going to look. And you see how this angle is like that on my template? All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and take my bone folder and fold on those crease lines. Okay, so next what I'm going to do is bring in my punch. Okay, if you don't have a punch, what you could also do is just round those corners off. If you have a corner rounder, you could just round these corners off and also round your tag corners so you have the same shape as your tag would be the same shape as your holder. So I am going to go ahead and use this punch right here. You're going to take that and all the way up to the top, okay? You're going to add that all the way up to the top, and then we're going to go ahead and punch. And then what we're going to do is go ahead and do the same thing on the opposite side. Okay, so what you want to do before you put your box together is design your box. Whether you want to go ahead and just stamp on there and not put designer series paper, you could do that too as well. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and design our holder. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take these two pieces. Again, these are two pieces. These are measuring 4 and an 8 by 1 and 15/16 of an inch. So what we're going to do is go ahead and punch that also with the designer punch, and we're going to take it all the way up to the top and punch, and we're going to do that on both pieces. Then what we're going to do is go ahead and glue those down, and I cut it whereas I could have a little bit of the crumb cake paper showing on the edges, along the edges. So I like the contrasting color of the red and the crumb cake paper. So what I'm going to do is just add some glue to the back here of the designer series paper. Add some glue there. Then we're just going to add that down to the top here. And I'm just going to make sure I have an even amount of the brown cardstock showing on either side. And we'll do the same on this. So you want to eyeball it, make sure it kind of lines up with the other one in front of this. Even amount on either side. Then next, these other 4 pieces here are for these tags right here. All right, it's for those tags. And again, once again, those are measuring 1 3/4 of an inch and 7 by 7/8 of an inch. Okay. So what we want to do is go ahead and cut an angle off of this. So we're going to take one of these rectangle, and what I'm going to do is just angle this here up this way. All right. So these are directional. I'm just going to cut a little piece more off. Okay, so you have to make sure when you're cutting it, you cut it in the right direction. So this one here is going to match opposites, okay? So it's going to match with that. So you could take this one, add that to that, and cut that out. Cut that off, okay? Cut that off. You have the same angle. So these two are going to line up that way, okay? So next what we're going to do is cut the remaining 2 opposite of each other. All right, so what we're going to do is I'm just going to put it here, and I'm going to cut on this angle, okay? And we're going up to that notch. I'm just going to put it right here, make sure I have enough of that crumb cake showing. And again, it's going to measure up with this side. So those two are the same. So I'm going to put this here along here just so I could get a pattern to cut that angle. And then we're going to put that there and make sure I have enough cut. And I'm just going to cut off a smidge off of this one. Okay. And then this seems a little too long here to the bottom, as well as this. So I'm just going to cut a little smidge off. Just going to bring in my little mini trimmer and just cut a smidge off of the bottom. Okay, so that looks better. And let's see how this one here is looking. I'm just going to line these 2 up and cut off that bottom piece. All right, so these you just going to have to trim trim off a little piece off of this. All right, so I like that one there, so I'm going to measure these two up, put the slanted edges together, and cut this off here. Now, what we're going to go ahead and do is glue those pieces in. If you guys are new to my channel and like what you see, go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as the bell icon so you could be notified when I upload my latest videos. So I'm just going to try to center that as much as I can. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and do that to each side. Just glue it in and just make sure it's nice and even so I get some of that crumb cake showing around the edges. So now what we're going to do is go ahead and put our box together. So what I'm going to do is take this little flap. I'm going to keep these flaps on the outside so it doesn't catch on my paper. If you glue it on the inside, you're going to have this little thing right here and it may catch when you're putting your tags in. So what we're going to do is glue this to the outside of that. Okay? So what I'm going to do is add some glue right here. Then we're going to bring this one up. Make sure it's nice and squared off. Edges are nice and even, okay? And then I say I wanted this on the outside here. So we're going to bring that up here. We're going to add some glue right there. And then there, we're going to add this right there. And then we have that little crisscross right there. And then what we're going to do is go ahead and do the same thing on the opposite side. And then we have that nice little crisscross there on the side and a nice little crisscross here on the side. So next what we're going to do is just decorate. And you know why I have this little hole right here to this edge, that length? Because when you're creating your tag, for instance, I created this one tag right here. It has a cup handle right here, but it's a little too far out. And it's not that it's too far, but it's kind of lower down. So it kind of bends when it goes down, okay? So once you're decorating, try to keep it right over here where this 2.5 inch mark is, all right? So now let's go ahead and bring in our decoration and decorate the front of our box. So you're gonna see which side you prefer, your front, which one looks the best. And I'm going to bring in some scallop lace trim. And this I got from Stampin' Up, which is no longer, I don't think this one here is available. And I am going to run that with the scallop pieces showing to the top. And I'm just going to measure it, then cut. Okay, so next what we're going to do is just take some glue and glue that down. And that's just going to take a minute to stick, dry. So next I'm just going to decorate the front of the box. And if you're interested in any of the products that I'm using, just drop me a comment down below. If you like what you see here today, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. I'm just going to add a paper bow here to the top. And I am going to use some dimensionals to pop that up. Just gonna add a little dimensional to pop up my bow. Then we're gonna add that right down below with the hold of our treat holder is. Then I have a little sentiment already cut out, and it says from our home to yours, and I think that's just perfect, especially if you're gift giving these. And you could put these here any color you want. You could make color teams. A traditional Christmas color. It could be for any occasion, not just Christmas. So you could have your tags correlating with the theme. So if you did like gingerbread, you could have all the tags representing, showing gingerbread, snowmen, whatever you may like. So what I'm going to go ahead and do a candy cane here. And so what's another good idea is that you could make this into a gingerbread house. You know, I was thinking about doing that. You know, you could do a door, add some windows. Wouldn't that be cute? So I am going to add a little candy cane here. I was going, trying to go for a gingerbread theme actually. So I'm just going to add this candy cane right here. I just wanted to add a little greenery in the front. And we're going to add that right here. I think, what are these, holly berries? And let me just pop that off for a sec. I wanted to add some dimensionals on the side. Since it's going to lie across the candy cane, it needs a little bit of dimensional around that. So I'm just gonna cut a few pieces here. So we're gonna cut a few pieces right there of dimensionals and then pop this up. And that's our box, guys. If you got any creative value from this, go ahead. Don't forget, go ahead and give me a like. And let me show you the other one that was created. The only difference, this is white paper instead of cream paper. Let me show you the tags that I created here. These are the couple tags that I created. I rounded the bottom off here on these tags. All right, so they fit nicely inside. This one here, again, I was trying to go for the gingerbread thing, from my kitchen to yours. This one have to and from, your French is sweet. I have a little spoon here, wishing you a yummy Christmas. Have this little ginger right here, and it says wishing you a yummy Christmas too. We have lollipops on there. And then I have this other one, you know, is not with the theme. It says ho ho ho, and then the Santa Claus hat on that. So these do not have any twines or ribbons on there. Another idea what you could do is you could add your twines within a little plastic bag just to keep it a little neat. So I just didn't want it to look too cluttered for you guys. So you could add that and just add this within here. That's a small enough bag. So that's it, guys. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you guys got creative value from today's video. This is Claudette, and I'll catch you guys on my next video.